Michael, I know you're not a psychic, but I just wonder first, looking back at Tuesday night, and you had those 3 players coming back from injury. I guess it's too early to know whether they've had a prolonged effect from that game, really.
Well, I had a conversation with Mike yesterday, Mike Hines, and he assured me that, considering obviously the amount of time that they had out, that they felt pretty good yesterday. They're certainly not going to be doing a lot this morning, as you can imagine, because of the time out and the minutes they got on the pitch, but I think it's promising the fact that the likelihood is after today they'll be available for tomorrow, and whether that's too soon to be involved in the squad or not, we'll reassess that over the next 24 hours.
That's quite a welcome back, isn't it, to be potentially having 3, I know Tom's been in and around the squad anyway, to have 3 available again.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, obviously it's going to take a little bit of time to get them up to full speed. I still think they're going to be at least a month away from being really what they would consider and what we would consider match fitness, but to just have them around and be involved is a boost.
And because of your background and the situation you had, do you understand what it meant to Coke in particular? I know the other players had lengthy injuries, but he'd had that more than a year layoff.
Yeah, absolutely. He's not had a lot of football, and you could tell before the game there was a little bit of nerves and excitement, and for him to come through it and do well in the game was a big bonus.
Yeah, he said his family had come up to watch him as well. That sort of thing means a lot to families supporting players, doesn't it?
Certainly does. Yeah, it does. It's a difficult time when you're obviously out for as long as what you are. You spend a lot of time on your own in the gym, doing exercises that you end up repeating yourself over and over again. But for him to and it's been one of them actually. It's been an acceleration in terms of his rehab, because he's been had to be patient, and he hasn't had that much time on the grass. So when the lad said that he'd be available for the minutes that we got out of him, I was happy.
And another experience, obviously, Lee Frecklington coming back and hopefully being available in the not too distant future. A player of vast experience at this level.
Yeah, and you could tell that early. I mean, obviously he hit a brick wall after about 55 minutes the other night, but certainly in that first half he's shown his experience at times, and what he did show was that he's more than capable of getting beyond our strikers as well, which is going to be important. So as a midfield player, yes, he can be part of the build-up and he can be part of us trying to use the ball really, really well, but what he's capable of is making them runs into the box that we've seen.
24 hours since the just over, reflecting back, you must be overall pretty pleased, because a lot of the things that you've talked to us in press conferences about, working with the players, moving the ball quicker, defending better, a lot of that was on show, I thought, on Tuesday night. Yeah,
and if I'm being honest, I think we've had it for a while. I just think we've just got punished a little bit with small mistakes, and I've heard the phrase not seeing games out. It's not more for me seeing games out, it's more getting that second goal. I think going back to a couple of weeks at Wimbledon, there was a lot said about conceding as late as we did, and rightly so, but I did say, eventually we will be the team that scores in the 93rd minute. We just have to make sure we kill off teams, and it was no different against Ipswich in the Cup. What we did the other night was we got the second goal pretty quick, and you could see the confidence throughout the team once we did that. And
you want obviously a bit of pressure on Tyler, and getting John to get a couple of goals as well, albeit one well taken from the spot, is a plus as well.
Yeah, and there's no doubt. So he's been pretty successful from the spot, and I know he's missed a couple, but over his career he's been very good from the penalty spot, and he took his second goal well. It's a good job he did, because I think it was Jack on the night who put a probably had a tap in, so I was about to go absolutely mental on the side, but fair play to him, he was confident to slot it himself.
The weather, I mean, it's horrendous. Is it having any impact on you in what you're trying to do at the training ground? Are the pitches becoming a bit waterlogged? Are there issues around that?
To be fair, they're holding up reasonably well considering. Yeah, we did have a little bit of a joke with Clive and Liam before the game the other night that since I've joined the club, all it seems to have done is rain. And I'm enjoying myself and I'm enjoying Lincoln, so it can only be a good thing. So when it starts brightening up a little bit,
it's like Manchester, it's like home.
It is, but it's not quite this excessive. You know what I mean? Like we're used to on a regular basis being quite timid and drizzly, but this is almost like monsoon weather at times.
Looking forward to Saturday's game, you came up against, to be fair to say, a very charismatic manager, one known well from his days at Boston here in Lincolnshire. Have you had any run-ins with Steve Evans in past games?
No, I haven't, and I haven't had that many run-ins with any managers, if I'm being honest. I think I've only been sent off from the technical area once, I'm not really the type to get involved in it. I think once you start getting involved in all that rubbish, then you lose your focus on what you're there to do, and you lose your focus on what you're doing with your team. So I'll be surprised if I get caught up in all that.
But he's a manager who's had great success, lots of promotions, and once again knows this level.
He certainly does. Yeah, you're right. He's been very successful at this level, and we'll respect that and get that and understand that. But it'll be literally, about us and what we do. I won't be really concentrating too much about Gillingham, other than what I know that is their strengths and their weaknesses.
And it does look like there's a whole group of teams in League Two. League One, you can almost throw a blanket over them, and they're all very much of a muchness in terms of ability. Yeah,
definitely, and it's a tough league. It's a difficult league. You've only got to look at, if you take obviously Bury out of it, the other three sides that were promoted, us, MK and Chapman, you can see how difficult and the gulf is between even League Two and League One. So we're going into a period where, apart from obviously a couple of Saturdays where we might not have a game, we're coming up against sides that are in around us and around them teams that you're talking about. So it's important that we pick up points and we make sure that we stay positive as we have done over the last few results.
And what would be your main concerns about Gillingham as a team?
Well, they're at home, we're away, and obviously since they've been in, that's been a little bit of an issue. Getting over the line and making sure that we get a win away from home. So first and foremost, that's something that we were looking to do. But they are quite resolute as a team. You've seen obviously the result that they got on Saturday in the FA Cup. So we're mindful that up top they've got a handful, especially with Mandron. I've come up against him a couple of times and he's decent. So we just have to make sure that we're competitive early doors and try and get that first goal again.
And just finally for me, Ellis, we're going to be talking to after you. Had obviously a very good game very early on in your time here away at Peterborough. What have you made of him since coming into the club? Yeah,
he's done great. I mean, I think a lot of people with Ellis, they forget he's 18, and I suppose I did to a certain degree when I first come in. He's going to have a good future, he's going to have a bright future. At some point he will get a run in the team, hopefully it's now. He played a good part of the game at Ipswich, coming off the bench. He played a full game the other night. He will play Saturday, so if that's breaking news or not, he will play, and he knows that.
Is that because of the international commitment?
No. We spoke just before the Ipswich game. He was going to get his opportunity at some point. I've been delighted the way he's trained. I thought he played well the other night, and it's up to him to now get himself a run in the team.
Michael, obviously you had a game midweek, a game at the weekend, and obviously you've got the replay coming up. Is that sort of fixture congestion a concern for you, or do you see it as a potential positive even?
Hopefully a positive, yeah, especially obviously with the game being called off against Bolton. That was really frustrating at the time. We have got a couple of injuries and a couple of knocks, which can be a problem at times, especially not a particularly big squad. But the frame of mind the players are in at the minute, they're in a pretty good place. Hopefully it will be a good thing, and the fact that obviously we was not having a game next weekend after the Ipswich game, it does give us a breather. So if we can, get the job done in the next two games, it'll be a welcome break.
And a word on another loanee, Callum Connolly. I know he played really well midweek. Do you see sort of the central defence as his preferred position for you now, or do you still see him as sort of a player who can play a lot of different places? Yeah,
he's obviously been seen in his career going out on loan as being quite a versatile player. But I've always seen him as a fullback predominantly. Certainly when I've watched him at other teams. Getting a closer look at him now, I do see him more as a defender rather than a midfield player. So whether that's fullback, whether that's central defender, I only see him as a midfield player, as a cover, as like when we're in a bit of trouble. So it's up to him and the rest of the defenders to fight out and make sure that they get the shirt and keep the shirt.
And obviously yourselves and Gillingham are in sort of a similar position at the table. Do you see this as sort of a game that maybe both sides feel like they should win?
Yeah, why not? At the end of the day, they'll see it as an home game that, when you're expected to win your own games and want to win your own games, and we're going there trying to keep the mindset that we've got in the minute, which is positive. You know, start games well, try and get the first goal, but then once you get that going to obviously go for the kill and get the second goal. And if we don't, we're in a good position in terms of the spirit that we've got, that we know that we're capable of coming back from conceding that first.
And again, obviously, good win midweek. How important do you think strength in depth is in your squad going into this sort of time of the year?
Well, it's good fit and continue to get them minutes. You know, even if we can't get minutes through league fixtures or cup competitions, you know, behind the scenes, getting games against other clubs is going to be important over the coming weeks, because there is experience there in the ones that are coming back, and that's going to be vital over like the Christmas period.
And as you said, it's a tough match away at Gillingham. Is there one thing in particular you'd like to see from your side on Saturday?
Not other than just continue where they've left off on Tuesday night and where they left off last Saturday, really. You know, different players have had a good amount of time in both games, and in terms of performances, we need to just continue the performances that we're producing at the minute. Eventually they will turn into results, as we've seen on Tuesday.
Thank you.
Michael, how is Michael Bosworth doing on his recovery? Is he making progress?
He's making a little bit of progress, but slower than I would have liked, if I'm being honest. You know, listen, we've got another 48 hours or so before the game, so that's going to be key and vital. The one thing with Michael is that he's that experienced and that robust as a type of person and player, that he is the type that doesn't need to really train to be available for the game. I've seen it before with certain players, and Michael's one of those. So yeah, let's see how the next 24 hours pans out. He is still a little bit sore, but yeah, hopefully he'll come through it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Tonight, had a game, happy with it?
Yeah, I'm really happy. I think we knew what we had to get 4 goals before the game, and we all definitely believed we could do it. And when we got those 2 early goals of John, we had every right to believe, and unfortunately we fell just short in the end.
Another game playing at the Michael Appleton, we talked to you after Peterborough, and you were saying that whilst Danny and Nicky have been great for your career, you're really relishing playing under a different manager.
Yeah, he's been great since he walked through the door, to be fair. He pulled me to one side and he said that even though I'm young, he trusts me, and he's going to give me the game time that I need, so yeah.
Do you think, he said in his interview, he admits at times he's forgotten that you're 18. Do you think sometimes people's expectations forget you're still a relatively young player?
Yeah, a little bit, I think. But the way I play, people tell me that I play with real maturity, and I've always played with older people throughout my whole career, and I've always played up with a year or 2 years above myself, so I've never really played at my own age, but nah, it's just one of them ones.
And you've got some quite experienced players around you in that midfield who, some have obviously been injured, like Freck and that, but have they been a great help to you in trying to develop your role? Yeah,
they're always helping me. I mean, even in training, they'll always give me little pointers on what to do, and I learn lots off them by just watching them. They don't have to speak to me. I can see by the way they play and how they act as a professional.
Now, we all know, I've watched football more years than you've been on this earth, and Lincoln City, but managers often say, I'm going to give a player game time. That's an easy thing to say, but the truth is he has been, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's given me game time. I think, I know like a couple of days before games that I'm going to play, and it's all about getting that right mentality, but I mean, I'm always ready to play. It's a team game. We've got a small squad. It's health competition for everyone. But you know, I'm just waiting for my chance to impress him.
And does that help, being given a heads up a few days before, if obviously it's not always possible, but does it help?
I mean, yeah, it definitely helps a little bit. I think you've got to get yourself mentally right. And for me, being a young lad playing in the Football League, can be a big thing, but I feel like I deal with it well, and I'm really looking forward to getting my game time.
Yeah, and the manager has said and been quite open in this press conference just before you, saying that you're going to play on Saturday.
Yeah, I had a little inkling before, because obviously Jeremy was away with Wales and doing a suspension as well, so I'm preparing myself to play anyway. So obviously now I know that I'm delighted, and I can't wait to get out there.
And what's the process for you from now to the game? For people who would have, most people listening to this won't have an experience of being a footballer. What's that experience like for you now from here to game day?
I don't think it's a great deal. I think for me, I don't want to overthink it. I want to like today. I'm going to train well and go get an haircut, and then I'm going to train again tomorrow and chill with the lads. But I'm not going to overthink it, because I think that'd be the wrong thing to do. I'm just going to wait till it gets to kick off on Saturday and do what I can for the team.
Are the family more likely to travel to watch you?
Yeah, to be fair, I've got great credit from my mum and my dad and stuff, because they come to quite a lot of games even when I'm not playing, because they've always liked watching Lincoln City. So I mean, for me to play, it'll be a great thing for them, great experience for them to watch me. And
as a group of players, I've felt for the last few weeks it hasn't felt like the squad are that far away from going on a positive sort of run, and hopefully Tuesday night could be the start.
Yeah, it's been a little bit difficult for us lately. I mean, we haven't been quite able to get that win, or we had to get over the line just like towards the end. But I think after Tuesday, after getting 3 goals and clean sheets, really going to help us, and we just got to keep our heads down and keep going, because it's going to turn out well for us.
I'm assuming you're probably getting your briefing on Gillingham between now and the game, but just as a game as a whole, because they're near you, is a chance to maybe put one over them and get moving in the right direction.
Yeah, definitely. We know it's going to be a tough game. Every game's always going to be a tough game. I think we just got to go there, be resilient, and work really hard, and let the football do the talking for us, and try and get the 3 points.
Ellis, obviously Michael's come out and said he has this confidence in you. How important is it for you to have a manager who expresses quite openly, how much he likes you as a player and how much he trusts you as a young lad?
Yeah, it's really important. I think the way I think about it is, football nowadays is all about opinions and about having the right manager. And if you've got a manager that's going to give you chances, it's a real positive for me. With me being young, he's going to help me as well. I'm not going to be perfect all the time, and with a manager like him, he's worked in academies before. It's a perfect scenario for me, so it's great to have him here.
And do you find that sort of as a young player, you're sort of playing with a bit more freedom? Maybe you're not so weighed down with responsibilities and the fact that you're new in this league. Do you find that sort of you're playing with a bit more confidence yourself?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really think too much about the game. It's just when I'm out there, it's a weird thing to explain, but when I'm out there, I don't really think about anything like that. It's just I'm out there to play my football and do what I do on the training pitch.
And has there been one thing you've been sort of focusing on in training, trying to bring into games, or has it just been about improving yourself all round?
Yeah, not necessarily. It's just like say trying to improve all my game. There's lots of things I need to improve, and I'm willing to do the hard work to do it.
And it's been quite different under Appleton as opposed to Danny and Nicky. What's sort of transition been like?
I mean, there's not a great deal of change. It's the training's a little bit different. I mean, the schedule's a little bit different, but all the lads have got on with it, and it's perfectly fine. And we're just we're preparing well for every game, really, every week. So.
Cheers, thank
you. Ellis, despite your young age, you've played in quite a few different roles already. What do you see yourself as? If you could pick yourself, where would you play now? And do you see you playing somewhere different as you get older?
It's a difficult one, really, because I know that I'm quite versatile, and that's one of my positives in the game, because I can play in a few different positions. But I mean, my favourite position was what I played on Tuesday, when we played 3 in the middle, and I played left attacking mid to start with. So I mean, that's my favourite position. But there's one position I don't want to play, centre half. I can't stand centre half. I mean, I'll play anywhere for the team if it means getting game time. So.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.